Beep, 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 beep. Mid-Jester Christmas news. That's all you get. Right, mid-Jester Christmas news. No, mid-Christmas Jester news. Is it? Is it? Is it? Yeah, it is. Beep, beep. Hello. I hope you had a lovely Christmas. Thought I'd do something just for you now. In between Christmas and New Year, just so that you know I'm still alive. Christmas. Right. Stonewall. Here we go. Yep. Got an article here from the Telegraph. Links in the Dubris. Subscribe, coffee, warrior teachers. You know the drill. Right, so the controversial charity Stonewall, actually it's called the controversial charity Stonewall, is currently advising nearly 1 in 5 FTSE 100 companies. In my video roundup before Christmas, I said that we had Stonewall losing people hand over foot. They're obviously not losing them quick enough, right? They're not losing them quick enough. Why are these companies still with Stonewall? Bunch of cowboys, right? So there's still 1 in 5 of the FTSE top 100. That's the big players, yeah? To a degree. Don't forget the vast majority of businesses in this country are small to middle size, not big. Corporates just have an overloud voice. Despite Stonewall being dropped by partners, by civil servants as partners, and the Equalities Watchdog, they're still doing this when the Equalities Watchdog have dropped them, right? And all about, obviously, concerns over its erroneous Stonewall law, trans rights guidance, which they produced. At least 19 blue chip companies, blue chip meaning, big game, big money. It's all the highest of the high in the sort of capitalist framework, are being instructed on their diversity and inclusion policies by the contentious LGBTQ plus hands, knees and bumps daisy group, right? They've not written that there. I wish they had. That's what everybody needs to do it now. Every time it appears in print, LGBTQ plus hands, knees and bumps daisy community. Could you imagine the newsreaders trying to read it? I can see Calvin Robinson doing it now. The LGBTQ plus hands, knees and bumps daisy people. Right? Now, what they've done is, the Telegraph, they've done a sort of a route around in the regulatory filings by these organisations, and they've discovered that we've got, for example, B&Q. B&Q are involved. B&Q. Sell wood, you twats. Paint. I said to whitewash. I couldn't resist. Now, okay. The most recent advice that they've given, that nurseries are not helping enough to help children recognise their trans identity. Nurseries are not doing enough to help. What they mean is they're not doing enough to inculcate the children into the cult. They're dangerous. Why are they still doing business? Where's the Charities Commission? You're next, Stonewall, after mermaids. The charity has also urged employers to let staff have 2 email addresses so they can swap gender identities. Right? On different days. They're trolling us at this point, surely, and companies are going along with this. That's how deep-rooted this infection is. Companies are going along with it. The BBC, Channel 4, the Department of Health and the Equality and Human Rights Commissions are among public organisations that have stopped working with Stonewall amid growing concern over its influence and controversial diversity. It's not controversial, it's illegal. Get sued, I say. Get sued, right? So we've got Burberry, B&Q, owned by Kingfisher, house builder Taylor Wimpey. Can you imagine? This guy, these blokes who build these things are tough men working in all weathers. We're now going to talk about non-binary identities. Just doesn't make any sense to me. Make any sense to you? So, they have to submit applications every year to what's called the Equality Index, which Stonewall comes up with a list of things you have to do. Shove a deck chair up your nose and put a chicken up your arse, whatever it is that you have to do that year. Right? Because that ranks employers based on the charity's opinion of their diversity and inclusion policies. And then it offers what they call a comprehensive framework, which is in fact just a set of mantras and tenets from the cult to help them target their actions. It is free to enter, but all entrants are given feedback on their performance by Stonewall. What a surprise. So they can see their successes and use the gaps identified to develop an inclusion strategy relevant to their context, according to the charity. We've also got, they've found some more, NatWest, Tesco, and pharma company GSK. One question that the 2023 application form asks is how employers enable non-binary employees to have their identities recognised on all employee-facing workplace systems. They need to go to hell. In its guidance, Stonewall says you will receive more marks if at least one example is specific to gender-fluid people. For example, the ability to have multiple pass cards with different forms of gender expression or linked email accounts, intranet accounts with different names and photos. This is insane. These organisations are insane. They've gone mad, right? Or they're being run by HR, I anticipate. Right, and the equality and diversity gurus like that one, they're paying 120,000 or whatever it is to work for the NHS on a lived experience manager. Experience isn't a good teacher, you morons. That's basic. So, that it's extraordinary that they put these submissions in, which closed in September, and they're going to announce next February who's on the list and who's at the top. And Stonewall spokesman, out of God knows who, one Kelly, I don't expect, said, "We're proud of our charitable work with companies and public bodies in creating LGBTQ plus, hands, knees and bumps and daisy, inclusive workplaces. In a country that is rightly proud to stand for inclusion and human rights, supporting LGBTQ plus, hands, knees and bumps and daisy people in the workplace is not controversial. Everyone, including LGBTQ plus, hands, knees and bumps and daisy staff, deserves to be free from discrimination and prejudice at work." No, they don't. You know what safeguarding is? Safeguarding begins with discrimination. Wake up and smell the coffee businesses because you're doing a really stupid thing. That's interesting that in that statement that came from the individual spokesman for Stonewall, within less than a sentence and a half, really, they said LGBTQ plus, hands, knees and bumps and daisy people 3 times. They can't help themselves. They continue. Stonewall's Workplace Equality Index and Diversity Champions programs continues to be highly successful because of the expert support we provide. They've already been found to have not provided expert support in the Rhindorf report, if you remember. Again, I'll put the link to the Rhindorf report downstairs because if none of you have seen it, it's worth a read. Stonewall don't give good advice. We know this, okay? The expert support we provide in helping organisations unlock the potential of their diverse workforce, which in itself delivers value. It doesn't deliver value. They are the thieves of time. All EDI is the thieves of time. It is now so corrupt. That's all it's there to do, is to bring your company to its knees. If you have an organisation and you let these people in the door, you'll pay the price for that. There was an interesting exchange on Twitter the other day between a group of people saying if they find somebody's got pronouns on their social media, they won't interview them. That's how it's going to happen, quietly. Right? You can never prove it. Never prove that you weren't interviewed because you're a non-binary nitwit, not protected characteristic, by the way. So, it doesn't really matter, does it? Companies are going to do this now. And we've been working on this. I've been working on this with a couple of people in academia and in business, writing the right questions so that you can get the answers from people. And hidden in the answers is whether or not there's somebody you want in your company and whether they will culturally fit. And as we redefine what the culture of companies is meant to be, i.e. meritocratic, they're there to make business, they're not to pander to idiots. That I think companies will turn around. Now, I was also very pleased to hear that one of our erstwhile drag queen storytime persons, Ada HD, who reads these, Grandma is the bad guy, Wolf is the good guy, suddenly found themselves with lots of cancelled events due to the cost of living crisis. I suggest to every company that exists that the cost of living crisis is an open goal, that the cost of living crisis is the best possible excuse you're going to have for getting these people out of your organisation. And you should grasp it with both hands and do it quickly. Do it quickly. Get them out, right? In terms of working on the idea of what questions you can ask that can illustrate their ability to differentiate between reality and this nonsense, that's an interesting project to undertake. So I suggest that you do. And see what you can come up with, because we've been working on it and we've come up with some beauties. Ask the right questions, see they'll give themselves away. Once they give themselves away, you're not getting rid of them. You're not discriminating against them because of their belief. You're discriminating them because their cultural understanding of the world does not fit with a meritocratic, business-orientated organisation. That's it, right? Okay, it's not about their belief at all. Right? They can believe what they want. You don't care. It's whether they're going to do the job and whether they'll do it well, or whether they're going to get in and not understand the importance of equality of opportunity and meritocracy and the right person for the job, and that businesses are there to make money, not make people feel better about themselves. I'm going to do more on this. I think I'm going to look at this a little bit more, talk more about what the business mind should be doing. I think that's something that might be interesting to some people. to understand why these people are a danger to your business and to your organisation. That's it, really. I mean, Stonewall, they're just not going to go away, are they? Not till we make them. I've told you this already, and I've had people agree with me on that, thankfully. It's not the end of the world, right? Okay, we're going to get there. It's a very slow process, but we will get there. And remember, they're just wrong, you know, and people aren't going to put up with it. And they'll do, even if the law is the law, they'll do what people always do, which is they'll discriminate. Because discrimination can be a good thing. I discriminate because I want the best sausage. If it's called a banger, I don't want it, because we know it's, 40% pig's eyeballs, 10% pig's genitals, and rusk. No, I want a 98% Cumberland, thank you very much. I discriminate because I want a better wine, than Tesco's rabbit arsehole, or whatever it's called. I just want a better wine. I discriminate because I want to watch the best television. I discriminate because I want to watch the best films. And I discriminate so that I can keep men who are a danger to people out of the spaces they wish to get themselves into. Companies should begin discriminating, because these people, if your company is an entity and the entity is legally formed to make money, then these people are a danger to your entity. Due diligence, guys. Make sure you do it, because they're utterly crackers. They are the thieves of time. Stonewall and their cohorts. Anyway, that's enough rambling. Do the usual. Subscribe, share this, etc. I'll catch you next time. Ta-da.